On a quiet night inside a building designed to keep its residents safe, a woman simply vanished. No alarms, no witnesses, no signs of struggle, just an empty bed and a mystery that would haunt investigators for years. Care homes are supposed to be places of safety. Doors are monitored, staff members are on duty around the clock, and residents are constantly checked on. So how does someone disappear from a place like that without anyone noticing? And even more chilling, how could the truth remain hidden for years before anyone discovered what really happened? This is the story of a disappearance that began with confusion and ended with a discovery no one expected. The woman at the center of the mystery was 83-year-old Mary Douglas. Mary had moved into the care home after her health began to decline. Though she struggled with mobility, those who knew her described her as gentle, warm, and fiercely independent. She loved reading, enjoyed quiet conversations with staff, and rarely caused any trouble. Most importantly, Mary followed a routine. Breakfast in the morning room, a short walk down the hallway, then evenings spent quietly in her room watching television. It was the kind of predictable routine that made life easier for both residents and staff, which is why what happened next made so little sense. On the evening Mary disappeared, everything seemed normal. Staff members later recalled seeing her after dinner. She appeared calm and in good spirits. Around 9 p.m., a nurse helped her back to her room. Her door was closed, the hallway lights dimmed, and the night shift took over. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but sometime between that night and the following morning, Mary Douglas disappeared. The first sign that something was wrong came during the morning rounds. A staff member knocked on Mary's door. No response. When the door opened, the room was quiet. Her bed was empty. Her slippers were still beside the bed. Her personal belongings remained untouched. It looked as if Mary had simply vanished. At first, staff assumed she might have wandered into another resident's room or a nearby common area. But as the search expanded through the building, concern quickly turned into panic. Mary was nowhere inside the care home. Not in the dining room, not in the lounge, not in the hallways. She was gone. Police were called immediately. Soon, the quiet care home was filled with investigators searching every corner of the building. Rooms were checked, closets were opened, basements and storage areas were inspected, but there was no sign of Mary Douglas. The investigation quickly revealed something even stranger. The building had security cameras, and those cameras showed no footage of Mary leaving. The exits were also supposed to remain locked during the night, which meant one disturbing possibility. If Mary hadn't left the building, then where was she? Search teams soon expanded their efforts outside the facility. Police dogs combed nearby streets. Volunteers searched nearby parks and wooded areas. Helicopters scanned the surrounding landscape. But hours turned into days, and days turned into weeks. Still, there was no trace of the missing woman. For Mary's family, the uncertainty was unbearable. How could someone disappear from a secure building without anyone seeing a thing? As the investigation continued, several theories began to emerge. One possibility was that Mary had somehow wandered out unnoticed. Elderly residents with memory problems sometimes become disoriented and leave buildings unexpectedly. But this theory raised serious questions. If Mary had left, how did she get past locked doors? Why didn't the cameras capture anything? And why was there no sign of her anywhere nearby? Another theory pointed towards staff negligence. Perhaps a door had been left unlocked. Maybe a camera had malfunctioned. Or perhaps someone had simply failed to notice Mary leaving. But even this explanation didn't fully make sense, because extensive searches around the building found absolutely nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no clues, just silence. As the weeks turned into months, the case slowly began to fade from headlines. Investigators had no evidence of foul play, no suspects, no sightings. Eventually, the disappearance of Mary Douglas became what many feared most, a cold case. For years, her family lived with unanswered questions. Birthdays passed, holidays came and went, and still no one knew what had happened inside that care home on the night Mary vanished. Then years later, something unexpected happened. During maintenance work at the facility, workers began inspecting an old section of the building that had been closed for renovations. Behind a locked service door was a narrow maintenance corridor, rarely used by staff. When the door was finally open, something inside immediately caught their attention. Investigators were called, and what they discovered sent shockwaves through the entire community. Inside that forgotten space were the remains of Mary Douglas, just meters away from the hallway where staff and residents walked every day. For years, she had been there, hidden in a part of the building no one thought to check. The heartbreaking discovery revealed what investigators now believe happened. Mary likely became disoriented during the night and wandered into the maintenance corridor. At some point, the door closed behind her. Trapped and unable to call for help, she had no way out. And because the area was rarely used, no one heard her. It was a tragic accident hidden in plain sight. For Mary's family, the discovery brought both relief and sorrow. At last, they knew what had happened. But it also raised painful questions. How could such an area go unchecked for so long? How did a vulnerable resident access a place like that? And could the tragedy have been prevented? Today, the case serves as a sobering reminder of how easily a mystery can unfold, even in places meant to provide safety. A locked door, a forgotten hallway, a moment of confusion. Sometimes that's all it takes for a life to vanish without a trace. But what do you think? Was this truly a tragic accident? Or could there be more to the story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy real-life mysteries and chilling investigations like this one, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because sometimes the most unsettling mysteries are the ones that happen in the places we trust the most. And the next story might be even more unbelievable than this one. Every case leaves a shadow. Every mystery deserves a voice. This is Shadow Case Files.